Hey there, music lovers. Today we're diving into the greatest hits of 1968, a year when music had substance and artists had integrity. 1968 was a year of turmoil, rebellion, and social change, and the music reflected that. They weren't afraid to ruffle feathers, challenge the status quo, and create art that would stand the test of time. Let's kick things off with Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by the incomparable Otis Redding.
On the dock of the bay.
This soulful masterpiece was released after Redding's tragic death in a plane crash. It's a bittersweet melody that captures the essence of contemplation and longing. In an era of civil rights struggles and social upheaval, Redding's introspective lyrics struck a chord with listeners across racial divides. Here's a fun fact that'll make you appreciate this song even more. The whistling at the end of the track wasn't planned. Redding had intended to ad-lib some vocals there, but never got the chance. The whistling was a placeholder that ended up becoming one of the most iconic parts of the song. Next up, we've got Mrs. Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel.
Mrs. Robinson, Jesus loves you more.
This folk rock gem gained popularity through its feature in the film The Graduate. The duo's harmonies are pitch perfect without any digital trickery. The song's cryptic lyrics about Joe DiMaggio and Jesus sparked endless debates, proving that music could be both entertaining and intellectually stimulating. Did you know that Mrs. Robinson was originally about Eleanor Roosevelt? Paul Simon was writing a tribute to the former First Lady, but changed the name to fit the character in The Graduate. Moving on to Hello, I Love You by The Doors. It's a prime example of the raw sexuality and unbridled energy that defined rock music in the 1960s. The controversy surrounding its similarity to the Kinks' All Day and All the Night only added to its mystique. Here's something to ponder. The song was written years before it became a hit, back when Morrison was people-watching on Venice Beach. He spotted a girl and imagined what he'd say to her if he had the courage. All right, folks, we've just scratched the surface of 1968's musical landscape, and I want to hear from you. What memories did these songs bring back? How do you think they compare to today's music? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Don't be shy. Your experiences are part of music history. Now, let's crank up Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. This hard-rocking anthem became synonymous with motorcycle culture and rebellion, thanks in part to its feature in the film Easy Rider. It's often credited with popularizing the term heavy metal in its lyrics. Fun fact, despite its association with Harley-Davidsons and the open road, the song was written by Mars Bonfire while he was walking down Hollywood Boulevard. He saw a poster advertising a motorcycle gang film called Born to Be Wild, and the rest is history. The Rolling Stones gave us Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I'm jumping Jack Flash, it's a gas.
A return to their blues rock roots after their psychedelic experiment. This gritty, defiant track showcased the Stones at their best, unapologetic, energetic, and impossible to ignore. Now here's a tidbit that'll blow your mind. The distinctive sound at the beginning of the track isn't a guitar, it's a piano. Bill Wyman says they recorded it with Jimmy Miller beating a rhythm on the instrument's frame while Richards played the notes. They then put the tape on a recorder, pulled it off the capstan, and re-recorded it. Speaking of innovation, All Along the Watchtower by the Jimi Hendrix Experience took a Bob Dylan folk song and transformed it into a psychedelic rock masterpiece. Hendrix's otherworldly guitar work and the apocalyptic imagery in the lyrics created a haunting soundscape that reflected the turbulent times. Did you know that Hendrix started recording his version just days after Dylan released the original? And get this, Dylan loved Hendrix's cover so much that he started playing it in Hendrix's style at his own concerts. That's the kind of mutual respect and admiration you'd see between artists back then, not the manufactured beefs and social media spats we see today. The Beatles, never one to rest on their laurels, gave us Lady Madonna in 1968.
Lady Madonna.
This piano-driven rocker showed off their versatility and Paul McCartney's impressive vocals. The lyrics paint a poignant picture of a struggling working-class mother, proving that pop music could tackle serious subjects without losing its catchiness. Here's a little-known fact. The distinctive piano intro was inspired by Humphrey Littleton's 1956 hit, Bad Penny Blues. McCartney wanted to recreate the boogie-woogie feel of the older song. All right, it's time for another pause at our journey through 1968. We've covered some groundbreaking tracks, but I know there's more to the story. Did you attend any concerts in '68? Do you have any personal stories about these songs or artists? Please share in the comments. Let's create a living history of this incredible year in music. Now, let's groove with Dance to the Music by Sly and the Family Stone. This funk rock fusion was revolutionary for its time, bringing together musicians of different races and genders in one band. The song's infectious rhythm and call-and-response vocals were a clarion call to unity through music. Here's something that'll make you appreciate this track even more. The song was actually created at the request of Epic Records executive Clive Davis, who wanted something more commercial from the band. Sly Stone reluctantly complied, but managed to create a hit that stayed true to the band's artistic vision. That's how you deal with record label pressure, folks, not by churning out soulless tracks. Marvin Gaye's version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine took the charts by storm in 1968. This Motown classic, with its iconic bass line and Gaye's impassioned vocals, is a masterclass in soul music. The song's themes of betrayal and heartbreak are delivered with such raw emotion. Fun fact, Gaye's version wasn't the first to be recorded or even released. Gladys Knight and the Pips had a hit with it in 1967, and several other Motown artists had taken a crack at it. But Gaye's version, initially shelved by Berry Gordy, became the definitive one. The Rascals gave us People Got to Be Free.
Got to be free.
A passionate plea for equality and freedom that resonated deeply during the Civil Rights Movement. The upbeat melody contrasted with the serious subject matter, creating a powerful anthem of hope. Here's an interesting tidbit. The Rascals insisted that a black act be on the bill for all their live shows, putting their money where their mouth was in terms of promoting equality. They even turned down a lucrative tour of South Africa because of apartheid. That's the kind of integrity you don't often see in today's music industry, where many artists seem more concerned with their brand deals than social issues. Harper Valley PTA by Jeannie C. Riley was a crossover hit that topped both the pop and country charts.
The Harper Valley PTA.
This tale of small-town hypocrisy and a strong-willed single mother challenged social norms and struck a chord with listeners across America. Did you know that the song was written by Tom T. Hall, inspired by events in his hometown? He wrote it in just an hour, proving that sometimes the best art comes from genuine experiences rather than calculated attempts to create the next viral hit. All right, we're in the home stretch now, but don't tune out just yet. We've covered some incredible songs, and there's more to say. How did these tracks influence your own musical tastes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this musical conversation going strong. Mary Hopkins, Those Were the Days, brought a touch of nostalgic folk to the charts in '68.
Those were the days.
Produced by Paul McCartney, this wistful tune about lost youth and faded dreams resonated with listeners of all ages. Its international flavor, adapted from a Russian romance song, showcased the growing global influences in popular music. Here's a fact that'll make you appreciate the song even more. Mary Hopkins was only 18 when she recorded this hit. She was discovered on a TV talent show, proving that even back then, unknown artists could rise to fame. Glenn Campbell's Wichita Lineman brought a touch of countrified sophistication to the airwaves.
The Wichita Lineman.
Written by Jimmy Webb, this song elevated the everyday working man to new heights. Fun fact, the song's iconic bass line was played on an electric guitar fed through a bass amp, not on a bass guitar. It's this kind of experimentation and attention to detail that set apart the productions of this era. The Beach Boys proved they were more than just a surf band with Do It Again, a nostalgic look back at their earlier style. This song showed their evolution as artists while still maintaining their signature harmonies and catchy melodies. Here's something interesting. The drum intro, one of the most recognizable parts of the song, was actually created by accident. Dennis Wilson was simply fooling around on the drums, and Brian Wilson liked it so much, he used it in the final recording. We'll wrap up our journey through 1968's chart toppers with Love Child by Diana Ross and the Supremes. This socially conscious hit tackled the taboo subject of children born out of wedlock, showcasing Motown's willingness to address serious issues. The raw emotion in Ross's vocals and the song's narrative structure elevated it above typical pop fare. Did you know that this was the first Supreme song to feature Diana Ross's name above the group's? It signaled the beginning of her transition to a solo career. But more importantly, it marked a shift in Motown's approach, proving they could produce socially relevant material without sacrificing commercial appeal. And there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour through the #1 songs of 1968. It was a year of musical innovation, social commentary, and unforgettable performances. As we wrap up, take a moment to appreciate the raw talent, the boundary-pushing creativity, and the sheer musical craftsmanship of this era. Remember, if you want to keep up with nostalgic times of past decades, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your friends who appreciate good music.